Zaina Badawi, thanks for accepting this interview. First question, is social media killing journalism?
Social media presents a challenge, but also an opportunity to the traditional form of journalism which I worked in, the established news media, broadcasters and the established newspapers. And it provides a rivalry in a way, because obviously it does give the news consumer an alternative way of obtaining their news, which is often much faster than the speed at which we can check facts and put it out. But it also provides us with opportunities. So it helps us obtain information. Because obviously it opens up more sources. We can get eyewitnesses through Twitter, we can get information from Twitter users, and it also helps us obtain information through citizen journalists. When access is restricted, it may be the only way that we can cover a particular story. So I would say that there's a melding of the old and new media, and it can be a very, very fruitful partnership, so it's not necessarily one killing the other. It also provides traditional news broadcasters with a different platform to make their material available, and also a means of interacting with the news consumer. So I wouldn't say it's killing traditional journalism, but it's certainly changed the field in which we operate, and it's absolutely vital that the traditional news media responds in a way to ensure that it is still relevant in this digital age.
When CNN was born, there was a tendency towards the Americanization of the news with a built-in bias. Has the rise of new channels like the Al Jazeera and the Sky News decreased the bias, or has it simply added on to it?
I think that the parent owner, the owner of a news organisation, be it American or British or whatever, to some extent they will be operating in their countries of origin. And therefore, if you're talking about an American broadcaster like CNN, which has both a domestic and an international division, the two do kind of live off each other a bit, and the same with the BBC, its domestic arm and its world arm. To some extent there'll be an overlap, which may suggest that there is a very slight inbuilt preference for resources to go towards stories that may be of interest, greater interest to the UK audience than there is to a wider audience. Having said that, they are also aware, the global arms of these channels, that they do have a global audience that doesn't just want to see an American-centric point of view, a British-centric point of view, and that they have to provide coverage of global issues from more of a global perspective. And I think you do find with all major international news broadcasters that they are increasingly using what I call indigenous or indigenized correspondence. So if you're reporting from Ghana, you'll probably use an African correspondent. If you're reporting from the Arab world, you'll use an Arab correspondent who works for your organization, who speaks the language and so on. So I think that that is how they deal with that question that you pose about how do you avoid a kind of Eurocentric or US-centric coverage of the news.